What's going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning to another episode of Right on Cue Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Logan Chestnut, Small Batch Barbecue. And if you're watching tonight, no, you're not drunk because my camera is not in focus.
Holy shit, look at this.
Joining me tonight, my barbecue brother, Mr. Houston Lyle, with Small Batch Barbecue. And our powers unite to form, boom.
Did we get that right?
I think so. Small Batch Barbecue.
Woo.
All right, I gotta fix this. Whoa, killing me. No, man, Houston, how you been, buddy? It's been a minute. I've been missing, baby.
Oh, me too. I've been missing you. It's been it's been more of the same. Just work and kids and travel and going.
Yeah. Well, speaking of traveling, man, Mr. World Traveler, how was the motherland for all redheads? How's Ireland?
Oh, dude, it's fantastic. Fantastic. There we go.
Hey, that's got sexy. Did you drink your weight in mother's milk, aka the beer of the gods?
I many a point was had.
Many a pint was out. Do they all talk like as sexy as it sounds on like TV and stuff?
Yeah. And every damn one of them will do it too. I mean, like cab driver, you just ask him some shit about Ireland, and it's like 30 minutes later. Oh, and you're gonna go down there to all right,
dude. I literally changed my navigational voice. You know, you can change your navigational voice to different voices, and they had an Irish one, and I'm like, Irish female. I'm like, if somebody's gonna tell me what to do, I want her to sound hot. So
give it to me.
Yeah, exactly. What's up, big guy, man? Thank you for always hanging out with us.
Oh, heck yeah.
I gotta get your stuff sent off to you. I haven't forgot you. But no, man, it's been a hell of a weekend.
Get back up in these chats.
I know, I gotta get in the chats. No, freaking what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, my football. Like, I hate football. I'm officially not a football fan. Football can just suck it. Kentucky, like both my teams are trying. Like, what are the odds of both my sports teams last year, professional sports teams, getting the number one pick? And then what are the odds that both of my football teams are going to fire their coach after this year? Kentucky and Titans are just itching to fire their coaches.
Yeah.
Atrocious.
I mean,
atrocious.
I don't follow Kentucky closely enough to really speak intelligently on it.
We're by far the worst. Like, Vandy's way up, we're way down.
I don't know. Arkansas looked pretty pitiful against Notre Dame.
Dude, you could put us against Murray State, a JV squad, and I'm betting the under.
And like, part of me feels bad for Callahan on account of the fact that I don't think Rand Carthon did him any favors as the GM. I
don't do anybody favors.
I have no idea what he was trying to build. It's a bad roster. I was joking with my wife the other night. It's like, if you went in the pro shop tomorrow, other than Jeff Simmons, like, whose jersey would you even buy?
I was really wanting to buy Will Levis jersey, but then they just used him as the biggest scapegoat of all last year. I'm like, oh, surprise! Cam Ward's doing the exact same. He's actually doing worse than Levis did.
Yeah,
Levis had 4 touchdowns in his first game. Levis,
because he's half the size of Levis.
You know what I'm saying? But like Levis, Ward don't have 4 touchdowns yet.
No. No one's going to succeed in that system until they fix the offensive line, which has been a problem unit for seems like a decade.
Yeah.
At this point,
I feel like you need to adopt a system with like that meme, the girl, like the old black and white Irish girl, just dumping money out the window. Yeah. Like, just keep making it rain, like a rapper in a strip club, until something sticks and a player freaking like plays.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what the answer is other than that they've got to fix the offensive line soon.
And somebody pay a wide receiver that can catch the ball.
Yeah, who are they throwing to besides Chig?
Calvin really don't forget what football is.
Well, I mean, he's past his prime, and I think that they were hoping he might be.
So was D-Hop, but D-Hop put up solid numbers.
He did, and I think they were hoping that it would be more of the same of that, and it just kind of hadn't panned out.
For sure. But man, Back to barbecue, which we come here for. Sorry, guys. Our little tangents we got to talk about because I mean we're in a state of just sucking around here. So, yeah, we got to voice our concerns, and you guys just got to hear it. But no, man, I've been missing, dude. This has been such a year of not barbecue. It feels weird to me. It's almost like it's an off year. I mean, for you haven't got a couple of our stars in the line, and you haven't got to join me this year. And I've only done like 4. I think I've only done 4 or 5 this year early, and then with the move and everything, I'm not gonna be able to do anything except for the Royal. I'm gonna be a hired gun on that one, so I'm excited about that. But selling the trailer, gonna go a new lean and mean route. So excited!
New direction.
So guys, if you know anybody who's looking for an awesome barbecue trailer, give me a shout. I will be very grateful for you. But no, man. But speaking of our barbecue journey together, the guy we have on tonight, man, big fan of his. He's up there with Bill Purvis when it comes to as the pretty boxes and beautiful meat. And I'm saying that in a very romantical way. This guy, I don't know how you talk about barbecue and it doesn't sound sexual sometimes. It's like I can't. No, but this guy
also had that thought about football the other night.
I know there's so many innuendos, but no, this guy, he's a fantastic guy. When did we meet him the first time? Was it Smoking for Garrett, Illinois?
I think that was the first time.
Yeah, I think Smoking for Garrett, Illinois, and that was one of our earlier comps.
Dude, that comp was a blast.
Yeah, it was. So we met him there.
Me getting lost.
That was funny.
Showing up at midnight after I drove out into a cornfield and got hornets in my Explorer.
Yeah, that was a pro for me. No, but man, this guy has been great. He's been fantastic to talk to. He's always been very helpful if I ever had any questions. So like I said, without further ado, I want to introduce to you guys Mr. Jason Halterman from CAN Country Outlaw. What's up, buddy?
How's it going, boys?
How you doing, man?
Oh, we're tired. We put 1,300 miles in this weekend to go up to Door County to cook. Door County, Wisconsin.
I don't know.
Wisconsin.
I don't know how you do it, man. Like you put in as many miles and how many comps do you average a year?
It's been close to 30.
Is that, that's like
30.
That's like year in, year out.
I think in 5 years that we've been at CAN Country, I got almost 150 comps.
That's grinding, man.
No, man.
That's grinding. That's 30 a year.
And that's between St. Louis Barbecue Society and KCBS,
Yeah. So you're in Illinois, right? Or
I'm in St. Louis. I'm in Missouri.
You're in St. Louis. Okay, you're there, Schaefer now.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool, man. And that's a tough area, man. That whole little circle up there has got
I'll tell you what, it's made a lot of us guys that are from this area that cut our teeth in SLBS better cooks. I think that's why you see a lot of success coming out. You got, newcomer Dan Wright from Take It Easy is killing it right now. And I think, he's got a brief career in SLBS, but it still makes, the quality of cooks around this area makes you a better cook because you just, you don't have any weekends off. And that's where I started, before we got really serious into KCBS. I started, with a couple teams, and we, hung SLBS because it was such a thriving community.
Yeah, well, I mean, you've got a murderer's row to go up against, too.
Oh, yeah. Yep. There's a lot of them right here.
Yeah, that's wild.
So, I mean, I was going to ask this a little bit later, but jump to it. Like SLBS, kind of describe the layout versus, the standard KCBS style. Is it very similar, or do y'all do any other?
It's very similar. The scores are weighted just a little differently. They're still, 6, 7, 8, 9s, but they're just weighted a little differently. That way, they didn't have any copyright, infringements on KCBS scoring. But like the high score there is a 225 instead of a 180. But there's still, it's like I think you get a little bit more weight on the taste than you do the tenderness. But they're, it's still pretty much the same average across.
I got you. And is that still going pretty strong? Because we're in Tennessee. Me and Houston are both close to Nashville. And so, SLBS is kind of
in Nashville, right?
Yeah, right.
It's not as strong as it was. The nucleus of teams when I started, we had, a strong 30. 35 team nucleus, and now they're down to about 15. But some of us just it's expensive hobby. We all know that, and I gotta I'm if I'm trying to, we got some goals in KCBS, and it's kind of hard to put my resources and time into something. It's hard not to drive 15 minutes whenever I gotta and instead I'm driving 5 hours. It's like, but it's what we're doing now. But yeah, it's but they got some newcomers coming up, and hopefully they can build on what they got going on now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, is SLBS like essentially, because I don't know what the backyard scene is like up in your area, but is that kind of help building up some of the up and comers to the pro side?
They were trying to do backyard, but I don't know how. I haven't paid a whole lot of attention, but I think just they're trying to keep their pro side alive. So I think they're focused more on that right now than anything. Just trying to just get that going.
Well, I was talking about like a lot of teams. Like I know up there we have Weeze and we got Hess Hogs.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's some heavy hitters up there for sure.
Without
that cook with the best of them, but. I don't know if like SLBS was kind of like a feeder program, kind of. Well, obviously,
it has been, for some of the, like me and Schaefer you mentioned, and Billy Hine with Triple H, Mimi in St. Louis.
Yep.
Yeah, we all started, cut our teeth in it about the same, about pretty much close to the same amount of time. At least me, Chris, and Brian, but and Billy came along maybe a year after that, so we all started about the same time and just kind of blossomed out from there. And I'll do as many as I can that I can do in SLBS still, but it's like like I said, I just with resources and time and effort, I'm trying to focus on KCBS a little bit.
I got you, man. So how long
these results look like there's anywhere from like 20 to 30 teams showing up at these events?
Yeah, there's you can count on 20. It's just been a struggle for them to get to 25 this year.
Yeah.
And I hate to see it, and it's almost like I'll go to a couple that I don't team count doesn't bother me as much as some people does, because if a win's a win. If I'm trying for wins, and if I can go get a win, I'm going to get a win.
Sure, but you look to it for the overall strength and longevity of the event.
Yep.
Yeah. Does does that count towards like Jack if it's over a certain number?
If it's a qualifier, if it's 25 or a new comp is 15, it's the same rules and it qualifies you for the Jack and the American Royal.
Nice.
That's
Jack.
That right there is a big pro to to giving that a go.
Without a doubt.
I mean, if you can, crack 7 there.
Yeah, it's not, but if you're going there, you go and you get your teeth kicked in by the guys because it's such a strong, they're not as big as they used to be, but man, I tell you what, the core they have is very, very strong. So it's not a given that you're going to go in there and win. I mean, you go in there and you finish out of the top 10, you're like, oh boy, and I'm licking my wounds and going somewhere else next time.
Right.
Back home.
Because these guys aren't no joke around here, I tell you.
Oh no! I mean, you're definitely in the barbecue mecca in that whole vicinity. Everybody thinks Kansas City, but no, it's really the St. Louis area.
Yeah, we got some strong people here for sure.
And we're all a little cuckoo.
Yeah. So, how long have you been doing this whole crazy thing we call competition barbecue, man?
A little over 10 years. I started with a team that needed help, and they happened to win the first day I was with them, and that was the rest was history. Been stuck since.
I know. Well, like, how long did it go? So, like, throughout your decade of cooking, how long did it take you to go all in?
I was all in from the get go. Honestly, I think I sparked life into that team. It was 2 butts and a ham. There was Brian Butts and Cunningham. Bob Cunningham and Charlie Brown, and then they were, they had been competing a little bit, 4 or 5 comps a year, and then when I got in there, I was the young guy, and I lit a fire on them, and we started doing 15, 16 comps a year, and they were all strictly SLBS. We did Murfreesboro. Yeah, we did Murfreesboro. We did the Royal. Obviously winning the first comp I was at. So my 4th or 5th comp was the American Royal at Arrowhead.
Oh, so you got to do at Arrowhead Stadium?
Yeah. It was a neat experience. It's like, and that was like, well, we're in this for a while.
Yeah. How was that like? Because I'm sure like going into competition cooking, everybody's like, I'm the best cook there is. I know I know my way around to meat, and then you go into competition cook where everybody's really good cooks, and did you ever have that get your teeth kicked in moment where you're like, oh shit?
Well, when I first started, we were, like I said, the first comp we won. I had very little to do with that, but Brian pretty much, he said, well, I want you to cook chicken because nobody wants to cook chicken.
Yeah.
And I think the first comp, I think I took second to Schaefer in chicken. My first comp, I cooked chicken by myself, and me and Schaefer traded blows throughout that year. So it was, I was set up for success right away because I was able to cook chicken, and they had went to a couple classes, and they had been cooking a while, and I just ran that Gilly Taft recipe. I don't know if you guys know who Gilly was, but Gilly back in the day was the guy who can go out and not cook for a while and come on, just win 4-5 or whatever, And so I ran his recipe, and I still run a little piece of his recipe, because that's kind of where I started, and that was a chicken cook, and maybe that's why I cook. My chickens it's usually something I can count on.
Dude, I was gonna say, like, I was gonna break down your proteins, but like, I remember when we first met. I mean, we were clueless, honestly, to what we were kind of doing, seeing like how you did it, and like your proteins you turned out and stuff like that. Like, how long did it take you to kind of get dialed into your recipes, and like how's it kind of evolved over the years? Like, are you drastically different? Because you never change big steps throughout your recipe process, but I mean it gradually changes.
Oh, I'm a tweaker. I tweak. Even with success, I tweak a little bit, and I tweak here and I tweak there, and I'll catch myself where I'm way off, from what I want my base is, and then I'll catch myself and say I need to go back, and I'll grab my old notes and I'll start on that baseline again, and I'll work my way gradually back, to something that's very familiar.
Right.
So which one do you think you've tweaked the most?
Well, it's hard to say. Well, because of pork was just such a nemesis for me through, and it's starting to be like a consistent now. I try to I think that was the one I tweaked the most, and it was the wrong direction for that, I guess.
I got you. That was your hardest, like when you're starting off cooking by yourself, or doing most of all the work, what protein was it that kind of gave you the biggest, like, between like trimming, because trimming obviously when newbies, chicken's hard to kind of figure out, and then pork had the most creativeness about how to present it. So which protein kind of gave you the most?
None of them gave me a problem trimming. So I think when I first started as CAN Country Outlaw, because I was able to cook with 2 butts, I was able to cook ribs, chicken, and pork. Brian kept brisket from me, so I never had a chance to cook it. Like my first KCBS comp as CAN Country Outlaw, we took like 2nd in chicken, 3rd in pork, 3rd in ribs, and 9th in pork, and brisket sunk us, and we took 3rd overall. So that was our first KCBS comp out of the gate, and it was like, well, this. I was grateful for what I got, but it was like, I should know how to cook brisket. So the next year, of course, I win brisket at that same comp, and so brisket's turned around where it's become one of my. I think I got more category wins in brisket than any of them, but my most consistent is still chicken.
I got you. A question I want to ask you, I think I taught you about when I first met you back in Illinois. Your name is CAN Country Outlaw.
Yep.
And now you cook on an Outlaw, to be fair. But you really started on cans, though, correct?
Well, 2 butts had a what was it, a Rebel gravity fed, and that's what we cooked on. And then our ribs were cooked on a can. And then as I started getting more into barbecue and more into figuring things out, I switched over to where I was dragging a can along with us, and I cooked my chicken on the can. Yeah, because St. Louis, this is that triangle. We are in CAN country.
Yeah,
CAN country, baby.
Yeah.
Is that kind of where your name came from?
So I got my Outlaw, and I was talking to Schaefer, and I was like, hey, I want to do something like, like the Outlaw Josie Wales kind of deal, but I want like maybe the Outlaw in CAN country. And
It's a great movie.
He goes, just CAN Country Outlaw. And I said, okay, that's it. So the name came from Schaefer. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
No, I think it's funny, man, whenever like coming up with a team name or even like for this podcast, it's so hard to come out because I mean
There's so many.
Every variation of barbecue names or anything has already been taken at a certain point.
Without a doubt.
Trying to come out with something original is very difficult.
Oh, the creativity in the barbecue pun names.
Oh yeah,
every one I go to, I see a new one. I'm like,
and it's funny whenever the announcers, the organizers, whatever, announcing awards, and they get a little, laugh a little bit, tickled by what they're saying because they know it's an innuendo and they know what it means. So that's the fun part of barbecue for sure.
Absolutely, man. So
asking you got.
Go ahead.
You go. Oh, thanks, Lo. Whenever we get a dude like you on the program, I always want to know, like, you ever just burn down one of your programs and start all over again? And if you do, like, what point does it take you to get to before you do that?
I can't say that I have because I've been fortunate enough to have, pretty sustained success. Now, there would be times I get beat up and I wonder, what should I do? And then, like I said, that's when I'll overlook at what I've been tweaking. And I'll go back to that base of my original recipes and then start from there. Start back over from there, and then I'll tweak out from that.
Yeah.
Like I'm almost to a point to where I'm about ready to do that on a couple things now.
Oh, yeah. How many comps does it take for you really start tweaking? Or like where do you, say you get a top 10, you don't touch it, right?
Oh, no, that's not true. I wish I could say. We got a GC in Eureka, Illinois. I think the next comp I probably try to run the same, but I'll tweak some things and I won't write down what I tweaked, and I'll try to remember so I know I'm off from it a little bit, and that's when I'll say, "What did I do again?" And I said one of my things is I gotta try to tell myself to write everything I do down.
But is that something that's kind of helped you throughout? Have you always done that throughout your barbecue careers, like writing down and taking notes? Because that's something me and Houston's horrendous at.
Yeah, I try to make sure, like, and when I say tweak, I'm talking about just changing a ratio in a sauce. It's all the same, 3 or 4 sauces. It's just maybe 1 ounce less of this and 2 ounces more of that. When I say tweak, it's not like I'm changing a complete recipe. It's just a little bit of, if I want to, add a little bit more raspberry chipotle, just a little bit more. Am I going too far? Am I coming? It's not like I'm not deviating away like taking a left turn. It's just a little bit.
I got you. So cooking, you cook on the Outlaw currently.
Yeah.
Have you always cooked offset? You said you originally started off on what you say it was? Like a cabinet cooker? Gravity fed. Yeah. I got you. So starting 10 years ago, it's barbecue, like we've talked about on the show before. It kind of goes in waves. Yeah. Back, OG dives like the stumps and the
Rebels like a stumps. It was just made locally here by Jeff Ripplemeyer, who made the rectangle.
Yeah. Stumps and what's the one out of Georgia?
Assassin.
Assassin and the other one. Like that was the cooker to have back in, when things started, and then it's gradually, shifted to different variations throughout. Now it's primarily, I literally walked around last comp I went to and I was like, man, it's 95% you have a can or you have an Outlaw or a Jambo.
Yep. It's can or offsets anymore, The guys you watch some of them guys that are still cooking on those cabinet smokers, they do very, very well. And they're most cabinet smokers are guys are cooking. We cooked at 250. We were still kind of considered a low and slow cook back when we cooked on that. Yeah. So, and I think there's something to that, if I didn't like to sleep, I'd love to see if I could go back to 250 and just because of texture, I think you control your texture a little better.
Yeah. Do you think like cooking, because everything has their advantages. Obviously cooking hot and fast, you get that sizzle on your meat and you get to sleep, which that's a ginormous one. Do you think texturally, like if you want to go low and slow, there's what's like some pros and cons you think?
I think low and slow. I think your texture comes out a little bit more controlled. Like when it's done, it's done. Whereas, when we're cooking hot and fast, we're running up there so hot, and we're running it to 212, 213 so fast. We have a tendency. It always has a tendency to back off, and it backs off fast. So if you aren't up there long enough, that's when you miss your texture and your tenderness.
The window's tight.
Yeah, the window's tighter going hot and fast. Whereas that window, whenever you're low and slow, was that's why it used to be that tenderness game, and now it still is. But you get so much more flavor cooking hot and fast. It's it's becoming a flavor game, but still you got to nail your tenderness.
So you think it's the margin of error of cooking low and slow when it comes to tenderness is a lot greater than it is versus cooking?
I think so. Yeah.
Because I know, like when you're cooking hot and fast, especially for like brisket or chicken, more than anything, and rib. Well, hell, all of them.
Yeah,
I was gonna say I'm like going through it in my head. I'm like, no, that one, no, that one too, and that one too. No, I mean the margin of error, because I mean we're pushing all our proteins pretty hot.
Oh, yeah.
And hotter than the average Joe would ever dream of pushing their proteins. Like the window, it can literally be 30 seconds to a minute, I feel like, and especially with chicken, because chicken's so weird. It'll go from 178 or 180 to 205. It'll take forever to get to that, and then it'll go jump 30 degrees in 10 minutes.
Yep.
And if
I feel like the weather is such a variable too. Yeah, when you're running hot and fast.
It is, and I didn't know about barometric pressure and all that stuff. Right. Like I said, I'm not a nerd, but there's a couple of guys that I talked to, and he comes over. Hey, is your brisket running fast? I said, yeah. He goes, well, that's because barometric pressure is low, and I'm like, I don't know nothing about what you're talking about.
I know,
no clue.
We talked to a lot of big hitters on this show, and
Sure.
I always pick their brains a little bit afterwards, and they're throwing some things at me. I'm like, how do you ever like even think in your head to think that this comes into play when it comes to cooking? But I mean, it does, and that's what separates the especially with people
right.
like you're one of them that obviously a heavy hitter, but are well traveled. Me and Houston kind of stay in our region currently, but you go all over. So I mean, the variations in altitude and stuff like that, I mean, definitely plays a role in it.
Yeah, moisture. I haven't got to the elevations too much, because we went down to Maryville, Tennessee 2 years ago, I guess. We got our teeth kicked in down there. That was one of our bad comps, and I was like, "Is the elevation different here?" And I looked, I was like, "No, it's 100. It's about 100 feet. Nope, it's not elevation."
You're like, "No, it was the elevation."
Blame it on something, but it surely wasn't that. They just weren't buying what I was giving them that day.
It was probably the 110% humidity that we have.
It could have been
here in Tennessee. Because I mean, I don't know what it is, because I've cooked in a place called Winchester, Tennessee, which is literally right on a lake. And do you ever notice when you cook on a lake or something where a body of water, does your cook seem to turbo a little bit versus other?
I don't know. Yeah, because we were on a peninsula this weekend in Door County. So we were, on a body of water on both sides. We had Green Bay on one side, Lake Michigan on the other. I guess that's Lake Michigan. And I don't know. Everything. It seemed to run okay. So I don't know. I never paid attention to it that much. I'm trying to focus on other things, I guess.
Well, maybe it's just another excuse I want to tell myself. But no, like
the hell, that one year at Winchester, though, the rain was blowing in sideways to the trailer.
Well, and the ribs literally the ribs were set in 45 minutes.
Wow.
My ribs were ready to wrap in 45 minutes. Like, oh, I'm screwed.
Yeah. Get them done early, let them rest.
People say that, but I feel like there's people that I think they should know what they're doing. And I'm to a point where I'm not that comfortable yet. That I know people that can, like, the ribs, pork, brisket, everything gets done 3 hours early, and they're like, it's fine.
Yeah.
Just wrap it up in the can, bro. It'll be good. Just reheat it a little bit. It's fine. If I do that, it's straight up grade A pork chops.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
I gotta run my time. My timeline stays pretty true to me. Lately, I guess after having many cooks as I got, I just. Obviously, when I open something up, and it's usually right within my timeline that I've been running for a few years now.
Yeah. What is some of the advantages? Like, say, have you ever done I know you do doubles, and have you ever done like a rolling triple or?
I haven't done any rolling doubles. My setup isn't favorable. I'm usually the last one out of the parking lot, after a comp because I got that toy hauler, throwing an outlaw in there, and everything fits around the outlaw. So everything's got to come out. Everything's got to go back in. The outlaw comes out, outlaw goes in, and everything goes in around it. So I'm usually like a lot of times by myself. So it's like the rolling doubles are definitely a no-no for me.
That seeing Schaefer and Brad and Kirkpatrick and Reuters and them, they'll literally go, and it's not like it's like a closed doubles. It's literally they could be in Tennessee on one, and then they'll drive overnight to West Virginia or to Nebraska and do another one. That is crazy determination.
Last year I think Jordan was in Oklahoma, and then he drove to Collinsville, and he got a 7th win on the last day for the Jack to get into the auto into the Jack. The auto was 7. I think he was already in because he won the Royal, but he wanted auto too, so he wanted and he was able to do it. But he did a rolling double coming from Oklahoma. Pretty crazy to me.
That's nuts.
That's dedication.
It's that's definitely like the more run and gun setups like we were talking about off camera, how like I'm looking to do more of the Outlaw Express kind of setup, where it's literally breakdown and setup and a lot more simple.
If I had something like that, which I'm kicking it around for next year, where I'll keep the toy hauler and the Outlaw and that, and then either get the Express or
the hideout.
Hate to say the hideout, or hate to say the J3, the extra J3 we have use of that. If the weather, it'll all depend on weather. Like I said, because the trailer is a nice crutch to have out of the weather. I don't know how Drew Davis does it. We were in Wynne, Arkansas, and it was raining. I had waves coming across the tires, and I'm looking over, and Drew's holding his tent down and keeping things together, and I'm like, I don't know how he does that.
And then he probably gets 3 calls.
Yeah. Well, we had a good day that day, but yeah, Drew is an amazing cook that he does what he does.
I think that it just forces you when you're running lean, because Brad does the same thing. He'll of course. I'm not saying about me. It forces you to really lock in on your program. I feel like the trailer is kind of a huge crutch for us, because it's everything's in the trailer and we have a lot of backup stuff, versus whenever we transition and run lean and mean, it's going to force us to really kind of lock in and nail our proteins.
Yeah. A month ago we were in Wisconsin up at
less beer.
Yeah, a month ago we were up in Wisconsin. We got a cabin and we ran the J3, so I didn't get the toy hauler. And I was cooking in a cabin, but I was still out of my element, out of my comfort zone. And I noticed that during turn-ins and boxing, I just was focused on my program. And we got lucky enough and had the best cook I think I've ever had, and lucky enough to win that. And first time cooking on a Jambo. And that didn't help things with some of the chitter chatter from some of the guys, because I'm an outlaw cook and cooking on a Jambo. It's like, oh boy,
it's okay.
I think they're both great. They're both great cookers, and like my timeline was exactly the same. It didn't cook any better. It didn't cook any different. I just think that it was a stars lined up for us that day.
Yeah, Jay makes. He's a wizard on the pit building for sure, and he's a fantastic guy.
Right, you can't knock him as far as a person. He's like, I had a little bracket break on my Outlaw at the Cordy comp, and I messaged Jay, and he said, "Yeah, I'll bring it to you." And he got busy and had to bring a bunch of stuff to Murfreesboro. He forgot it, but I tell you what, it was in my mailbox when I got home from Murfreesboro.
Yeah, so, he's a solid guy, and results show. Like we talked about, 90% are either Outlaws or cans, or a combination of the two. Most of them are a combination of the two.
And be on the lookout for Jay's new can he's got coming out. It's all aluminum. I've seen it. I haven't got to cook on it. I've seen it several times, and that thing is a work of art.
Yeah, I love. Like I said, I know you hadn't officially announced it yet, but
oops.
Yeah,
you heard it here first.
Oops. No, we're.
I don't think it's a secret anymore.
It's definitely not a secret, but it's definitely not officially announced. But there's some really cool lid features. I'll say that.
Yes.
To be on the lookout. That I'm definitely going to be getting one.
Right.
But no, man, it's cool. Like, so when we're cooking, we're kind of a hybrid cook. We cook on currently on can, and then I throw it in a pellet grill once we wrap the meats, because you get the flavor. Once you're wrapping meats, I mean, it don't matter really what, it's just heat at that point.
And I'm a hybrid cook, and I've been a hybrid cook since I started. Because of my can past, so everything touches the can. Now I'm a little reversed. I start my brisket on the can for the first hour, and then it goes on the Outlaw, finishes on the Outlaw. The ribs and pork go on the Outlaw first. They're about 20 minutes before wrap. They go on the can and they're already rendering. So you get that fat dripping immediately. You get that smoke coming off there, and you get that can flavor imparted in that wrap. And then the chicken starts on the can, finishes on the Outlaw.
Yeah. I mean, with chicken, especially more than anything, you can't really beat that grill flavor off the can.
That was the one thing it took me a while to figure out. The first 3 years, I think I was strictly all Outlaw on the chicken, and we did well. We took 14th in Team of the Year one year. So when we ran out, I mean, we were second place like after 10 comps, and I was like, well, this is the way we need to cook it. No, that was after I switched over to can. But we just, we always did well with the chicken that way. We ran Gray Street and Joe's kind of combination between Gray Street barbecues and Joe Pierce's. They run pretty much all offset chicken, and it did us well. And then I took Schaefer's class, and I was like, I can impart this part of the can to make me a full hybrid cook.
Yeah. Now, speaking of Pierce, is he cooking as much now, or is he kind of backed off
No, he's backed off. I don't know. We'll see how he does. See if he comes out next year. I just talked to him down in Murfreesboro for the first time in a while. I talked to him, on message and stuff, but in person he cooked, and I collected his awards. He's like, you're not going to walk much for me. And of course, he gets a 5th place ribs and a 1st place pork, and I'm like, oh man. I told him, I said, I'll never trust you again.
Oh, anytime a barbecue cook says, if you ask a cook and they're like, "Oh, my ribs are fantastic today," I'll bet money on it you don't hear their name.
Right.
But if they said I had a grease fire, or my meat fell in the trash, like it's happening.
It's something else, I tell you. So he's got some changes going on in the restaurant. I think he's focused on more, and life and his daughter and stuff like that. So I think taking some time off, he realized that. I think he enjoys being aloft a little bit more, but who knows if he comes out and has, I think he's cooking this weekend in LaBelle, and he's getting a few cooks in before the Royal, but we'll see. I'll never count him out.
No, for sure. No, he's definitely one of the greats. Who has been a barbecue kind of mentor to you to kind of help you along, or somebody you kind of reach out to for advice? Because I mean, you were very blessed when you start off. I mean, that the posse you got, what kind of grew up with, definitely some heavy hitters and some world champions there to kind of bounce ideas off of. But who's
all of them? Billy Hine, Chris Schaefer. But I think the most since I've been on the Outlaw is Jordan. He took the Outlaw, and there was a couple of guys that were successful, but man, I've never seen anybody be that successful from the get go on learning on running that Outlaw. And I always wanted to reach out to him. We talked a lot, and he kept me. He talked me off the ledge a lot, and then he says when he decided he was going to put on a class, he said, "You want to come take the class?" And so I did, and then. The next, he put on 4 last year, and he let me. We kind of worked it out, and he says, "Hey, we're gonna run a double cook. Can you run the pit and stuff on the other classes?" So I was able to cook the other 3 classes, behind the scenes, and it put me on a different level this year. As far as the offset, it showed me a little bit. I got a little bit more behind the scenes, and then obviously. Being at 4 of the classes, not just 1. You can learn a lot at 1, but you can learn everything at 4.
Yeah. That's what we're talking about last podcast with Mike from Barbecue Champs Academy.
Yeah.
And how in-person classes are fantastic, and there's a lot of stuff you pick up, and you can probe the meat, you can taste the meat, you can get that.
Yeah.
But watching something over and over and over again definitely can hone in on the small things that make the cook that much better. So like you helping, Kirkpatrick for that many times, I definitely you got more out of it than the average Joe at the class.
Sure. And the other thing I think, and haven't had a chance or taken the time or whatever, taking the opportunity to. But Billy, I think Triple H, their class opportunity to go and cook with them at an actual comp. I don't think you're probably going to get a better class than that. Is if you really want to go one-on-one, and they're to me one of the top 5 cooks in the country for sure. They don't
it's a hell of an opportunity,
and that's one. You get behind the scenes, you get to see everything they're doing on comp day. It's one thing to be able to reproduce it at a class, but when you're teaching 30 people, 35 people, you're gonna get. I mean, Jordan took it beyond anybody else I saw at a class, and I think cooking, having an extra cook going on, and throwing the timeline out is what really set that class apart. But the opportunity Billy and Andrea's offering to go cook with them is something on a different level.
Yeah, and
being in the heat of the moment.
Yeah, you're getting what they're turning in, and you're seeing what it takes to be successful.
Yeah. I remember we were at the Atlanta barbecue, class they put on every year. Whenever him and Robert and Paul and all of them were down there. That was like 3 years ago, I think. And he was just talking about starting that stuff up, and that thing's blown up. I know everybody who's done that with him, and people who don't know, we're talking about Triple H. He hosts a one-on-one. You get to essentially be a beer bitch for his cook. You get to be a team, or you get to be a honorary member of Triple H barbecue team and get to check out all his stuff live and in person. And it's a really cool thing he does, and it's been very popular, and I've heard great results from it. So definitely check that out. And then with Kirkpatrick, of course, I mean, the dude can't miss.
He's got 2 classes coming up this year, and I tell you what, if you're an offset cook, even if you're a can cook, but if you're an offset cook, don't miss one of those classes. Go to one of them.
Yeah,
and I guess if he fills both of those up, which I don't see why he won't, maybe there's a mention of a third, but I haven't heard yet.
Yeah, I
will be cooking the backup cook on both of those.
Nice, man.
I don't want nobody else to learn.
Yeah, absolutely. He may have a new trick this year. Who knows?
Yeah, nah. Nobody else can learn what I learned.
That's right. Do you think, because you've taken classes with Can, like you talk about with Schaefer, because he's a big time can cook, and then you took offset cookers. Do you recommend, so somebody say, me and Houston, of the two, we're definitely more of a can cooker. Well, we will be an outlaw cooker at some point in the near future, but for people that are doing picking classes, because they're not cheap. I mean, let's be honest, they're definitely not cheap to do at all. Cheap,
but they're definitely have a lot of value.
Yeah, they have a ton of value,
so much value.
It'll save you money in the long run if you're serious about this sport.
Right.
But do you put weight behind it that you need to pick a team or a class that uses your cooking, or do you think you got information out of Schaefer that that to put value in it versus doing an outlaw or an offset class?
Well, I think if you're going to be strictly on a can, then go chase the guys that are successful cooking on cans. And if you're going to be an offset cook, go chase those. And with me being a hybrid cook, it made sense to do both. I took my first offset class, which was Gray Street and 1-2 Barbecue. Steve Hayden's, they were together, and I had no inclination. Now, everybody, back then I was like, I would love to have a Jambo, but it's like, I don't know. And I took, and of course, Steve cooked on a Jambo, and Gray Street cooked on an on an outlaw. And I'm like, well, those are nice, and I'd love to have one, but had no inclination of getting one. And I just took it because they were both successful. So, and then I guess the following spring, I had Sanji from Thump and Strum message me, and he said, "Hey, you want to buy my outlaw?" And I'm like, "I do." So, and I had an offset class before I even had my offset. So I had all them notes, and I ran their recipes and their notes timelines for the first couple of years, until I started adapting, to what it worked for me.
Yeah, that was another thing I wanted to ask you. Like when it comes to classes, like at the level you're at, you're pretty we're pretty set in our ways as far as our recipes and our flavor profiles. But you go to these classes once you get to a certain level, and it's not so much for recipes and stuff like that. It's more so of the like have you been in a class where you're like they do little techniques that you're like, oh crap, I didn't think about doing that, or oh man, that's a good idea.
I've learned something from every class I've taken for sure.
Yeah, it's
whether
not
it be a little bit, and most of them will tell you, and I believe it's true. You don't come for their recipes, you come for their techniques and the other stuff. Recipes, everybody has a winning recipe. Everybody can win with what they're cooking with. All the rubs are a variation of the other rubs that were already out. So it's not like nobody's deviating that far. Yeah. Sauces and injections maybe is the one thing that you probably pay attention to on the flavor side. But as far as recipes, you don't go to class mainly for the recipes. I go to find out how they're getting to be so consistently, and it really every class comes down to tenderness.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, I mean, I could have Jason, Jason Halterman's your recipes in front of me. I could have Jordan Kirkpatrick. Y'all could send me your recipes and all your notes, and I couldn't go out there and do the same meat that you are. If we're at a comp together, I'm not producing the same quality meat you are. It's the little stuff that you pick up and over the years and years that you kind of build it into your program. But these are good techniques and tips to kind of put it in your arsenal of barbecue knowledge.
Anytime you want to go back, and I still look at my Gray Street, my SLAP notes. I've kept all of my notes from all the classes I've ever taken, and I still go back and I'll say, what did he do? If I'm struggling with something, I'll go back, and that'll be that tweak. What did he do here? Oh, well, maybe I ought to just try to edge toward that. And that's, they're always in your back pocket.
Yeah. Well, you talked about Joe and them earlier. Like I took his class up there and whenever he hosted it a couple of years ago, and it amazed me of how detailed, like down to the minute and a half on his timeline, that he's that locked in. Like right. I think he even had poop breaks in his recipe in his recipe schedule.
Yeah,
I mean,
hand washing breaks.
I mean, he's not military. He definitely has the mindset because he's so locked in on that, and that's something that the more I talk to big guys and great cooks, they're always talking about their notes. They're always talking about going back to this notes and this cook and this timeline and stuff like that, and that I think separates the average Joes from the serious cooks.
Yeah. You got to, and that goes back to when I was with Two Butts. My first, we had Bob. Bob, he's a professor at Maryville, and he was a note timeline, everything, spreadsheets, everything was all laid out. And I was like, I'm not that guy. And so I never paid attention to it that much. He was always had it and I always used it, but I wasn't one to keep the track. And then once I got out on my own, I was like, I think I need to do that. And especially after taking like Joe's classes like that, I was like, maybe I ought to start paying attention more to my writing down every little tweak that I do. I would need to write it down on side notes just so I can reproduce it if it's successful.
Yeah, it's definitely something me and Houston need to lock in and get better at. If we're moving forward for sure. Whatever. Houston, you just got to show up, buddy. I'll take the notes. You just show up.
No, I mean I can write. I'm all right at it.
My problem is sometimes I can't read what I write.
Yeah, well, Houston has a very effeminate handwriting. I had the doctor.
Whatever. I
had the doctor's handwriting without the knowledge. Houston has both.
I'm definitely a doctor.
Yeah, I was like, I miss my calling if I only had the brains.
Right.
But no, man. So you, like I said, I want to kind of get your opinion. So you've traveled, I mean, many far and wide comps.
Hither and yon.
Hither and yonder.
We put 160,000 miles on the truck in 3 years.
Yeah.
I think 3 or 4 years.
Dude, that's nuts.
Yeah.
What has been some of your favorite comps? Like, what is some cool? Like, think back and like some of your favorite comps and like what kind of they offered or what made it stand out versus some of the other ones.
So my favorite comp isn't anymore. It was up in Door County, Death's Door, along Washington Island. Took the ferry over to it, and it's special because it was my first KCBS win. But it's just a special place, you know. And when you're out in the middle of an island, it's you got a lot invested getting there, and then I always did well there, and that's why going back this year to Door County, which was this past weekend, was kind of important to me to make sure I got it back up there. And Wisconsin's always gonna. If I'm cooking, I'm cooking every Wisconsin comp they got. Them judges are a little bit more now. If you're going for average, don't go to Wisconsin because they will hurt your feelings sometimes in scores, but it's relevant. I mean, it's all relative. It's across the board. So, everybody's got everybody's fighting against the same scores. So it might be just a little bit more true score if you want to, some of the old school guys will say, well, that's true scoring. That's, they're not just giving away the nines. You got to earn them. And it makes you, I think whenever you got some tough judging, it makes you a little bit better cook anywhere else. And then Smoke on the Shores, Eric and Jason. Eric's one of my favorite people in barbecue, and he actually helped me cook this year at the first not Shores, but the Kicking It in St. Roberts. He was an extra judge, and he come and he ran my boxes, and it was that was a big experience for me this year for him to come help me that day. Because then we had a pretty good day. We finished 5th, and then the next day we 700 with an RGC. We had 2 700s that weekend, 2 180s, 2 700s and 2 180s that weekend. So we were, and Eric helping me cook that first day. Kind of like, I think you need to just give me a little bit of advice from the judging side of things. Because he's cooked with so many of the good cooks too. He's hung out with them and cooked with them, so he kind of that knowledge is invaluable.
Yeah. I mean, if there's a more experienced judge than Eric, I don't know of them.
I don't know either. There's some, like, we were in Wisconsin last year, and like I had no inclination of who I'd see, and here comes Eric. I'm like, what are you doing here? He goes, oh, I just got back from South Dakota, I think. And I'm like, so you went to South Dakota? And he was doing a rolling double judging.
Dude, he loves. So here's my thing. Like, I think his love of barbecue is greater than anybody else's.
He legitimately loves barbecue.
We're chasing trophies and checks. He's literally just chasing a good time and good food.
I got 3 comment cards from him this year because I've learned his handwriting, and all 3 of them were very good. And I saved them. Those are the 3 comment cards I've saved.
Yeah, we were talking about Bill has that class where you go and pay and tag him. I think that'd be a good idea. Eric to do is freaking be a judge for hire. Like, hey, hire Eric to fly down to your house or wherever you are, and
come hang out with you. And you get critique you as you're putting it in the box. It's invaluable. It really is.
That he don't live that far from me. I should actually hit them up on that.
Anytime he shows up, I said, "Are you judging?" He goes, "Yeah." I was like, "Dang it," because I was wanting him to help me.
Yeah. Well, like when he teams up with Jason, I'm like, "Shit."
I know, right? It's not fair whenever those two are together.
No, man.
Jason's already a beast as it is, and you got Eric in his back pocket. It's like, oh,
I know.
We're all doomed that weekend.
Yeah, I mean, just that aspect of like the knowledge he has from, like you said, the judging side, which is the only side that matters.
Yeah,
I mean, we can all say what's good and what's not, but it doesn't matter. It's all based on what the judges say, and if he says it's good, I mean, that's gospel for me.
Right? No doubt.
Yeah. Jordan said if you take the Janky class, you'll learn all the perspective for Eric.
Is all that
right? Eric, now that's Eric came to Jordan's classes as well and got up and talked from the judges' side. And that's something else that I've seen at a couple classes now. And in Jordan's class, he brought in a judge, and the judge was able to. And then they did it at Drew and Reuter's class last year as well. Of course, that was at the Shores facility. He got up and talked, and that's pretty valuable. If anybody's throwing on a class, if you can get a CBJ or a master judge or something like that to come in and talk the judge's perspective to your class, it's very, 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 very added value to that class.
Absolutely, man. I feel like we need like a coupon code from Kirkpatrick and Bill, man. As much as we're plugging their classes today.
Yeah, well, those are my buddies, and I really believe in them. Those are, and it's funny. We were down in Houston. Jordan asked me to go to Houston with him at the rodeo, and that's one of my surreal moments.
Oh.
It was Jordan, Billy, Aaron from Man Meat, Bill Purvis, Fred Robles, Eddie Morales, and I shouldn't. I can't believe the numbers. Machete Boys, and Urkel. They were all in Jordan's trailer, and I'm looking. I'm like, "There's an odd man out here." I said, "That's me." I said, "But you know what? Them guys never treated me that way, and that's the best thing about barbecue for me is them guys that are even like I've just now had a pretty good relationship with Darren Worth, and who is my idol in barbecue, and he it's crazy how approachable and how supportive they are. Them guys that are on that level. To me, he's the Jack Nicklaus of barbecue, and you got Brad, and Brad's another guy I talk to a lot on when I don't talk to him on the phone or anything, but when we're at the comps and stuff like that, and we talk, and he's the Tiger Woods of golf.
Yeah.
That if you take them into golf perspectives, and it's like you got guys on that level, and it's like, and they support you, and they it's like that's pretty crazy to me.
That's a good idea. And then I'm going to say, who would be the John Daly of barbecue? If that's Tiger and that's Jack Nicklaus, who would be?
Oh boy, that's a good question there.
Yeah,
that's a good question. They have to be a drinker. Got to be Tim Shear. Got to be Tim Shear.
So I was going to say Tim Shear's the John Daly of
yeah, so
barbecue.
He can party and go out and just kick all our asses. No doubt.
I was thinking that. I don't want to say that. But I was like, if I can think of John Daly,
it's got to be Tim Shear. Because I was wanting somebody on a high level, because John Daly was definitely a high level guy, and but love to enjoy himself. And I think Tim's the guy who enjoys himself the most and lives life to the fullest, and still is as good as he can be.
Dude, if I could hang out with anybody in the world, it would be John freaking Daly.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think I always said Richard Branson, because I think Richard Branson's on that billionaire level that knows how to enjoy being a billionaire.
Well, I mean,
right.
if you're a billionaire, you don't
space and shit.
Right. Yeah.
That's like
we're rock stars. I mean, that's isn't that the lifestyle we all want?
Yeah. What I mean, dude, think about that though, man. It's like hanging out with that's like trying to drink beer and eat hot wings at Hooters with John Daly. It's like playing blackjack with what's his name from MMA. Who's a CEO from MMA?
Oh, Dana White.
Yeah, Dana White. That's like gambling with Dana White. Like you're not coming out of that unscathed.
No.
No. Like you're gonna like smoking weed with Willie. Like you're not gonna remember it, but it's gonna be a great time.
It'll be a great time. Without a doubt.
But no, that kind of leads me to my next question. I like asking a lot of our guests, man. If you got a meat Rushmore at barbecue, when we talked about some great names, we talked about some great names. Yeah. Well, we talked about some good names before, but who would you put on your meat Rushmore?
Well, it's got to be Darren and Brad for sure. I don't think there's any argument of those two.
Yeah.
Then I think you got to put Tuffy Stone there. Tuffy Stone, and then it might not be a popular opinion, but Myron's still there. I mean, he's the guy that everybody outside of the competition barbecue world still says, "Hey, you cook against Myron? Do you know?" And anybody who's not in barbecue that comes up at a competition, they all say Myron. Myron, that Pit Masters was what put competition barbecue on the map and made it popular for as long as it was.
Yeah.
Now, so
I mean,
those are probably my four.
No, there's plenty of people still chasing him.
Oh, yeah. Without a doubt.
I mean, that was the Chris Moneymaker effect when it comes to Texas Hold'em. That the barbecue pit masters did the same thing for competition barbecue.
This is a solid analogy.
Yeah,
that's one of your better ones.
Yeah, right. I do what I can. I poop enough every once in a while. They're gold. No, man.
Blind pig finds an acorn.
All right. Stop it. No, it's. I don't know where I was going with that. Damn it! Thank you, Houston. I lost my train of thought. Yeah. But no. So, what do you got coming up, man? How many are you? You got the Royal? Like what's on your schedule left to do? I mean,
right now, what I'm signed up for is LaBelle, Missouri next weekend. That's a $25,000 comp. It's a first year.
I heard that one. Yeah.
So the guy from Ring Doorbells from LaBelle, and he put in 25,000 this year. If it's a success, which it sounds like it is, we got 40-something teams.
That's a success.
And so it's going to double. The rumor is it'll double next year, and then on his birthday, which I guess is the following year, he's talking either 250,000 to 500,000 is what I've heard. I don't know. Now,
I mean, that's a drop in the bucket for him, though.
Yeah, I get it, but man, I hope that if they can only have 50 teams, hope they remember who signed up the first year.
Yeah, I promise you.
Keep us little guys that are that have signed up the first year. Keep our spot first.
Dude,
give us first right of refusal.
That kind of money, like that's going to form super teams. Like
it'll form super teams, and you'll get people from around the world, not just around the country. Yeah,
no, like that's not going to be a points chase. Like no one's going to care about the points chase there. It's going to be super teams. And
I'm going to win a barbecue trailer. I'm going to win a new smoker.
Yeah,
a new truck to pull my smoker.
That kind of money that'll buy you. A new truck, a new pit, and then the gas money to get you where you're going.
And then I'll pay for a year for sure.
Yeah.
And then we're going to Topeka, Kansas, and I don't know. I'm still debating on whether I'm doing Topeka 2 weeks in a row. And then
just stay there.
I'm gonna leave the trailer there for sure. And then there's one in Odessa, and then there's Booby Q, and then there's the Royal.
I'll be at the Royal.
So and I might miss one, maybe two of those comps, but I know I'm going to LaBelle, Topeka, and then Booby Q, and then the Royal. But just depends on where we're at. I got a couple of goals, and again, I need a couple top threes to finish out the year and to get there. So if I'm chasing hard, then I'm gonna probably finish out the year, not have a weekend off.
Yeah, Brian, me too, dude. I just seeing all his travels, it just makes me feel inadequate. So talking about your schedule, man. That's exhausting. Right. I mean, you love barbecue. It's fun. Yeah. I mean, we love it. Like Houston, I feel like we always think about, man, it's so much driving. It's so much work to get to. But once you're there, I don't like to drive. Believe it or not, that's one of my least favorite things to do is drive. I just don't like driving, but it's what I have to do to get to where I want to go. Yeah. Well, I mean, Houston, like I said, whenever we get there and start cooking, we love it. It's one of my favorite things to do, honestly. At this stage of my life, it's up there.
Yeah. And I love traveling. Don't get me wrong. I love going to these places that barbecue has opened up places that I definitely probably would have never went to Wisconsin ever in my life. Other than I think when I was a kid, we drove up to Minnesota to go fishing. We went through Wisconsin for a brief second, and it's like, I don't need to go back there. And then I found out how nice Wisconsin is in the summer. If I had my ideal retirement. If I had my ideal retirement, I'd retire to Wisconsin in the summer, Florida in the winter, and Tennessee, down around you guys, maybe over there toward Mount Juliet, or maybe down toward Franklin or Murfreesboro, in the spring and the fall.
Yeah, see, I've been to 47 states. Wisconsin is one of the 3 I haven't been to.
It is so nice up there in the summertime. Now they got mosquitoes up there, but
it's
crazy because they got a lot of water. But it's such a nice place to be in the summer.
Dude, I used to go to Wisconsin once a year, like Oconomowoc, and it was just right outside Milwaukee, inside their sub area. Dude, the lakes there is awesome. Like when I saw the frozen lake, I'm like, oh shit! But don't go there in the winter. It sucks.
I have no interest in going up there. We went up and did a comp in Minnesota, just south of
Minnesota. Look at you.
Yeah, Minnesota. We went up there and did a comp 2 years ago. Actually, so we went to Maryville to Topeka to Minnesota to Wisconsin in 4 weeks that year. It was pretty crazy run there. And
just a lap around the Great Lakes.
we talked to our neighbors there, and they were like, "Yeah, it's like the lakes just now." And this was June, I think. They're like, "Yeah, the lakes just now unthawing." It was like minus 47 degrees for all winter. No. I'm like, I don't even want to comprehend what kind of cold that is.
No,
there's no reason to live like that.
No, like you don't have to, dude. You need a comp injection like like gun to give them shots because their skin's so thick.
Yeah,
like they're
a harder type of people for sure. I have all the respect for people that can stay up there like that. I just couldn't do it.
But you bring them to Tennessee in July or August, and they'll die.
Late August.
They'll melt.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. So I didn't say Tennessee in the summer, did I?
Yeah, no. That's where it's so
spring and fall. That's the best time to be there.
It is. It's nice here in the borough. But no, man, it's I love Wisconsin. Wisconsin's fun. Madison's probably one of the funnest cities ever. And I could totally like bandwagon and be a UW fan hardcore. With
them guys at UW, they party though, that's for sure. That's the partiness. So that's funny. Back to that desk door. Our first year up there at desk door, you did a double, and during the middle of the double, after the day two, you got the VIN because it was an island. They bring 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 people over, and you got the VIN doing barbecue. Well, we had an idea to serve old fashions, which I'm not a drinker anymore. Didn't know what an old fashioned really was, and didn't know that it was the state drink. We had a line at 10 o'clock in the morning, as far as you could see, people wanting old fashions.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the heck's going on? I said, and then at the end of the day, T-Mac, Tom McIntosh, he was our neighbor up there, and he lives up there, and I'm like, hey, Tom, I don't think we should be selling these shit. He goes, I told him you got a Missouri liquor license. Don't worry about it. It's on the island. So we got our hands slapped by a couple guys that were kind of in charge up there, but they let us get by with it. But I tell you what, them guys them at Wisconsin, they like their drinks.
Well, they got more. It's like what I say. They have more bars or pubs per square mile than anywhere in the country. Like it's because the reason why, because it's so damn cold. You can't do anything else.
In the wintertime, there's nothing else to do. Nothing else to do. There's no way.
No, they don't have convention centers or playgrounds. They have pubs and bars. That's where kids are growing up, and homeschool is. I'm pretty sure like homeschool is like at a bar there.
Right.
And Spotted Cow is just baptismal water.
Yeah, I brought some. I had a request from Mr. Payton to bring him some Spotted Cow back, and I got it in the trailer.
Yeah. So. Anytime any of my listeners, y'all go to Wisconsin and you can grab me a couple of cases of Spotted Cow and bring it back, I sure would appreciate it.
Yeah. So I usually bring back Spotted Cow, some cheese, and cinnamon rolls. They have a gas station up there that has a bakery, and they're crazy cinnamon rolls. There's only one better, and that's Brad Cox's wife. She makes the best cinnamon rolls, I think.
Oh, I can also get down with fried cheese curds.
Yeah, their cheese up there is crazy too.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
Another indoor thing they do. It's not like that. It's like you never hear anybody in Wisconsin. They have the greatest parks. I love their parks, and all their outdoor amphitheaters are amazing.
They have great campgrounds, though. During the summertime, that's why I said that during the summertime, their campgrounds are top notch.
Yeah, because they only get used for like 4 weeks.
Yeah, one of our comps up there was at a Jellystone, and it was like Disney in the woods, man. They went all out. They had. I was like, man, I wish they had this when I was a kid, man. This is pretty nice.
Well, that's awesome, dude.
Right
that's
on
awesome.
cue, brought to you by the Wisconsin Tourism Department.
Right there, you go.
We're plugging everybody, man. I need to get like credits from everybody tonight. No,
the reason I go where I go, because that's some of my favorite places now. And
so
without barbecue, I wouldn't have went there. I guarantee you.
I would have seen all these beautiful small towns in Alabama if it wasn't barbecue.
Yeah, that is true.
That's one place I haven't cooked is Alabama.
I couldn't pronounce half of them either. I remember like when I started
end in like Iana
or Ani. Yeah, I couldn't do it. Some of it. But no, man. So at this stage of your career, like, what is it when it like because you cook as many comps as anybody out there. What is it when you start your year? What is your end goal that you want to be? Like, what is like Jason's like Mount Everest that like once I reach there, I'm climbing until I reach there, and then I have arrived.
I want to this year I want to be top 25 overall in team of the year, and we're sitting 26th or 27th. We've been in the top 20 this year, but haven't really been able to push us to keep us there. So hopefully that's why I said I got a little push at the end of the year to try to get there, because I want to go to the awards this year. I'm not on that top level as some of them guys. Now last year we missed out on our world championship because pork pork. Still pretty bitter subject last year. And but if I can win a world championship, I'd be really, really happy.
Like world championship in your career, like that would just be after that.
It'd
It's all gravy
on the cake. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, because like whenever we finally make that jump into the big boys, I mean, I'll never be one of the teams that, unless I hit the Powerball, that I'll points chase or anything like that, team of the year chase. But I think there's like 3 categories when it comes to barbecue cooks. It's like, especially in the pro level, you got the points chasers and the guys that are traveling and cooking and are really racking and grinding. Then you got jack chasers who they cook a little less, but their main goal is to get some bones and going to the jack. And then you have guys that would be like us. Well, no, we want a jack chase, but just guys that are just out there having fun and kind of cutting their teeth and kind of learning like that, enjoying
local yokels.
And I guess that's another one is getting to the jack, because I've been doing this 10 years, and other than maybe 1 year, we've had either I've been on a team or we had a bung in it, and we just haven't. I've never gotten drawn for the jack. Never even been there. Never even been invited by another team to go help or nothing. So,
dude, that's
yeah.
Look at you, Brian.
Anybody else? But hey, I tell you what, I don't know, because I was like, well, where can I go cook that weekend then? Because all the good teams are not all the good teams, but a lot of the good teams are not going to be there. So let's go see what we can do. Let's go cherry pick one.
That's right.
But there's no cherry picking anymore, I don't think. I tell you what, you go to some of these comps, you're thinking, like even this comp this weekend, there was only 16 teams there, but there was 2 world champions in the crowd, and it's just like, I could pick the top 10, but in the top 10 finish where they were supposed to, but not in the top 10, but it's like there's no easy comp anymore.
Yeah. All right, let me ask you. I got a couple more questions, and I'll let you go, man. I appreciate you spending your time with us. But
you got it.
If you could pick we're gonna do it's a 3-part thing. So if you could pick a local comp that if you could guarantee win, you could pick a local comp that you're guaranteed to win that you'd want to do. You could pick a mid-level, like a cool destination comp that you could guarantee GC for the trophy, maybe that you would like to do, and one major. What would be your 3?
Is this an essay question?
SATs or BBQs.
So the 2 of the comps that I want to win, that I have, if I win those, I've arrived. I consider them mid majors. Well, maybe there's 3. Smoking the Shores is one, and we've knocked on the door a couple of times there. That's hands down, that's my top. That's in my top 3 every year. Murfreesboro, and we haven't knocked on the door there because it's a love-hate relationship. And then Smoking in the Spring, Osage City. Most of these comps, and all what those 3 comps have in common, they're 70, 80, 100 team comps.
Yeah.
I think those are, I consider those like mid majors. And you go and knock one of those down, it's you've done something, and you've achieved. And then obviously go either win the Invitational, either the Open or the Invitational down there in Lebanon, or go out and win the Royal.
The Royal. Would you take the Royal over the Jack?
Boy, man, that is a tough question. I think the Jack.
Yeah. Would you? All right, here we go. Would you rather have a weekend like QU, or would you rather guarantee win the Jack?
Oh, that's a good one too, because if you do QU, then you get to get in the Jack automatically, and you go to Houston.
And you're a 2-time world champion.
I think I'm taking QUs.
That'll never happen. Do you think that'll ever happen again?
It could. I tell you what, there's so many good cooks out here. These guys, I think somebody like Jordan or Billy, or I don't want to leave anybody out, but somebody on their level, I think it could happen. It takes a lot of luck to hit those to not hit the tables that just aren't favorable. I don't like calling bad tables or stuff like that, even though I do say it whenever I get hit them. They're terrible tables, but I don't like to call them out, because I think judging, I've always thought the judging's true. As far as, if you're really honest with yourself and go back and think about your cook and what you turned in, they get it right more times than they get it wrong.
Sure.
And I always go back to that Jack that the Brad and Joe, they GC'd and RGC'd. They were the number one, but they were head and shoulders above everybody else. Not to discount Chris, because Chris was third that year, and then Chris won the Jack the following year. So that right there tells me that no matter at all comps and at a world championship, the judging is correct.
Yeah,
it's true. It's true more than some of us guys that get beat up want to admit, but it's true.
Yeah,
for better, for worse.
Yeah. I mean,
majority of the time, it's true.
Yeah, even when it comes to like competitions like the Royal or Houston Rodeo.
Now Houston's a different animal because of the way they do things, but it was an experience that I would love to go back and do.
I mean, that's a bucket list that not many people are going to get to do, just for the mere cost.
Handful of teams get to go do that aren't already going to it.
Yeah. So, but like anytime you get into a competition like that, I mean, you can cook perfect.
Yep.
And especially let's take the Royal. I mean, the top 12 teams or 180s. It seems like it's in certain categories. I mean, not only cooking perfect isn't going to guarantee. Like I can cook perfect, and it doesn't guarantee me nothing.
Right. So
there's a huge factor when it comes to play. Like, at what point of teams at a competition do you think luck overcomes skill? You know, like it doesn't matter if you cook 180s all across the board, you're still not guaranteed.
Yeah.
Like 50?
Yeah, probably 50%.
Yeah. But like I'm talking about like teams, like 50 teams, 60 teams.
Boy, I don't know. And like the Invitational, you got 162 teams. I mean, you know, probably 50 teams. Yeah, they're the ones that aren't going to hit the tables.
Yeah.
That aren't going to, and all you got to do is miss one table, you know.
Yeah. Sure.
But then there's, you know, this year the big comps, those comps I mentioned, the 3 comps I mentioned, I've hit the lower scoring tables on all 3 of those comps this year. Like maybe I didn't hit the worst table, but I hit the lowest scoring, like the next 4. It's like it's hard to overcome that. Now the GC we got in up in Wisconsin this year, we hit the worst scoring table all across the board. In pork, we won the table, and we overcame it by having 3 meats in the top 5.
Right.
But at a big comp, it's hard. It's going to be it's even harder to overcome that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, man, that's all I have for you tonight, man. Okay. I truly appreciate you hanging out with us, man.
It's only my 3rd time being on a podcast, so.
Man, you're looking good, man. It's like as good as you look, man. I can get you on TV here soon, man. Rico Suave.
I was wondering when am I going to become the face of barbecue? You know, they need a spokesmodel.
God bless us. God bless us all. No, man. No, but like I said, man, I truly appreciate you coming on, man. I always enjoy talking to you, and
yes,
you know, especially early on, it definitely bounced a lot. I probably annoyed you with a lot of questions and bounced stuff off of you, but
you're good, man. I'm an open book. Anybody can come ask me anything, and I'll, you know, everybody's been that way with me, you know, so I'll be that way with anybody else. You know, that's just how the barbecue family is.
Yeah. Well, man, like I said, he already told you where he's going to be the rest of this year. You got any sponsors or anybody you want to shout out before I let you go?
Cordy Meats. We love Cordy. I see him. I'm missing this week because I had my meats for this. Actually, I'm not missing. I'm going over for Buddy Hammett from Shiggin' Ain't Easy. I'm going to pick up his ribs, and I'll probably pick up my meat for the next week. So I won't miss this week because I was like, you know, I don't have to go over there if I don't have to. But then, you know, to Cordy, and then we got Man Meat. Aaron and Christy, they've been like barbecue family. They've taken me under their wing and just been real great for us. And then you got Jordan. I mean, Jordan's he's not my sponsor, but he's a big part of what I've been able to do this year.
And you know what? We've done it 10 times. Let's do it 11. Check out Jordan Kirkpatrick's class, man, if you want to level up your game.
There you
Jordan,
go.
I'll be expecting that coupon code in my email. So
yeah,
pay attention.
He's doing one in December. We're actually going to be down in Florida, and we're on our way back, and we're going to stop off, cook for him, and then head home after that. So we'll have a nice fresh tan.
Oh, very nice, very nice. All right, buddy. Well, man, I appreciate it, man. You take it easy, and I will see you at the Royal.
All right, buddy. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.
All right, man. That's it.
I'm on the big screen.
Yeah, you are, dude. I think I was pretty sure I was going to pull off this week in fantasy, but Tyreek Hill just screwed his leg up, so I'm definitely winning this one.
He's done.
Yeah, he's done. But anywho, guys,
welcome to Receiver One's Out Club.
I know. But guys, thank you so much for tuning into our show tonight, man. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you picked up some tidbits. I know I did. I don't think he meant to give out some, but I listen. If you listen closely, you always pick it up. You'll pick it out.
Don't look a gift horse in the mouth.
That's right. And guys, please, if you like hanging out with us on a regular and like listening to our beautiful voices, give us a like, give us a share, give us a follow. You can find us on Apple, iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, anywhere that you can listen to stupid things. You can find us on there too, because we fit in with the rest of them. But man, we truly appreciate you guys hanging out with us and the loyal listeners that are here week in, week out. We love you the most. But man, as always, when it comes to barbecue, I didn't mean to say one thing. Hey guys, make sure Smoke on the Shores, we were talking about it earlier tonight. Jason, Smoke on the Shore signups are happening October 1st. And
I was going to say it's like tomorrow or Wednesday,
yeah. So make sure I want to make sure I tell everybody, if you're listening, tonight is the 29th. This will be out 30th, but make sure you guys get signed up for that, because it will fill up super quick. Super quick. And I want to try not to have a wreck before I make it this year. So we will be there. Make sure to give us a shout. And we love you guys. And as always, when it comes to barbecue, make sure you're always right on cue. Later.
That's all, folks.